go into suffering. All contaminant things are suffering nature. Right? I'll go there. Okay, so then how can I get out? Right? Okay, let me do it next life. No, you have to do it now. Because you have this precious human birth. Next life we are not sure whether we'll get the precious human birth. So these two things combined together, right? Although the preciousness of the human birth, which is not explicitly mentioned here, but this is implicit or implied. Whereas in the Lamban practice, in fact, the Lamban practice is designed on the basis of this teaching, the 4 seals. 4 seals, right? So the, say, the preciousness of human birth and so forth, this is a prerequisite for one to reflect on. Right? So this is a very precious reflection to see the preciousness of human birth and how difficult it is for us to achieve that. And the moment I die, whether or not I'll achieve that is questionable. So why not I take the most advantage of while I'm still alive? One. And then if to continue to the next life, then how to create the conducive factors for the precious rebirth, next life and so forth. So the point is that we have to start the journey. To start the journey, we need a sense of urgency. With a sense of urgency, what can help us is the first 2 reflections. All composite things are impermanent and all contaminated things are suffering nature. These 2 things. You getting it? Okay. So the first one, all contaminated things are suffering nature. No. All composite things are impermanent. This impermanence, what the Buddha is explicitly indicating here is the subtle impermanence. Subtle impermanence, but the gross impermanence is to be meditated by us also. What? Impermanence of death. Impermanence of death and impermanence of the people around you, impermanence of the world. For example, say sometimes, the whole village, once, I think when I was in the Taiwan, it was just landslide, that the whole village was destroyed. Today the village was so alive, and tomorrow morning whole village gone. Whole village gone. Impermanence, right? Okay, so, and then recently the flood in Japan. The whole village gone, whole town gone, right? So these are the impermanence. When we see these things, this should remind us that where I am, it is not really something stable, and the ravel, even that is also prone to such a thing. And then your own life, my own life, is also impermanent. Well, we don't know whether we will meet once more next life. No, the next year. And tomorrow we don't know, right? So the point is that this reflection of the impermanence of death, that falls under the meditation on the gross impermanence. In other words, what is gross impermanence? What is subtle impermanence? Gross impermanence is the discontinuation of the continuum of an object. Discontinuation of the continuum of a composite object. Discontinuation of the continuum of a composite object, composite phenomena. Okay. All impermanent phenomena may not necessarily discontinue. All impermanent phenomena may not necessarily discontinue. Okay, can you think of something which is an impermanent phenomena yet never discontinues? Time. Very good. Time is impermanent, yet it never discontinues. It continues all the time. Yes? Mind. Very good. Our mind is impermanent. Our mind changes every moment, but our mind continues eternally. It never ceases. Anything else? The space, composite space. Yes, composite space will never come to an end. Very good. Anything else? The self. The self. The person. This person is impermanent, but it never discontinues. It keeps going like this. Also, although it is impermanent. This self Dorji, 20 years ago he was young, now become older, and then after even older, and then eventually die. Finish. But this I, which is referred to as Dorji now, this I will continue my next life. Dorji will not continue. Dorji dies, finish. But this I will continue to the next life. Idik?
I can't understand it because only the mind goes.
Okay. So okay. Okay, this is a very good point. The mind goes, yes, the mind goes, right? Mind goes, and the self, there's no self different from the mind. There's no self different from your body and your mind. Where the mind goes, your self also goes. Yes. Right?
It's a contradiction.
Why?
Because self is the body and the mind, and the body doesn't go with the mind.
Okay. This is a good question. Okay. In fact, these questions, never suppress these questions. These questions, you must say, you may meet with some teachers, you may ask this question, you may not get a good answer, don't worry. Continue to ask this question. Continue to ask this question. This is a very important question. You getting it? If you don't get this answer, if you don't get this question clarified fully, then the concepts are not going to be clear. Right? Okay. So this we will discuss for the time being. Let's have a flow, and the Isaac's responsibility to ask me either tomorrow, not tomorrow, till tomorrow, this question. Right? Okay. Did you all follow the question? The mind travels, no doubt. But how the self travels? Self is not just mind. Self is consisted of the body and the mind both. You're getting it? Mind both. How the self travels? This is a question from Isaac. Very good question. Okay. For this, we have to know what precisely is the self. Right? What precisely is the self? If you don't know this, then this question will remain forever. Once you know what the self is, and then the question can be resolved. Right? Okay.
Bodhicitta also is self?
Exactly, yes.
Is it self?
Yes. Buddha Shakyamuni is a self. Is also a self. Yes. So this self, say Isaac, right? When we die, body is left behind. The mind continues. The mind will take the next body. Right? Next body. Okay, for example, say when we are born, so I don't know what's the weight of your body?
What's there?
What is your weight?
My weight when I was born.
No, now.
Now. 75.
Let's say 75. Let's 75.
72, yeah.
Let's say 72. When you're born, it's not 72.
Okay.
Right? Maybe it's like 5 kg, 3 kg.
Yeah.
3.
And then additional all these weights came later. Right? But the self, Isaac, from the day when you were born till today, Isaac continues. Oh, man, now I have a new body, right? 70 kg extra, right? So Isaac, there is not Isaac. Isaac is with the tiny body and the mind. So now I have the mind continued, but the body is not there. If it's a different body, no. You getting it? So the point is, there is this known as imputation. Things exist. We talk about the emptiness. How things exist through imputation, through convention. When I was a baby, when I was a teenager, when I'm now as an adult, right? So different phases of your life. So this person, existed in all times, but body-wise, it's very different now, right? even the body cells that we have, even the body cells we had at the birth, body cells, except for maybe like half a kg of the body cells we have, right? Like the brain cells, only some of the cells, they last long. They live till you live. Whereas like almost 80%, 80, 85, 90% of the cells, they all change. They all change within 7, within 10, 15 years. They all change. The body that we have now was not really the body that we have from the birth. It's a very different body. You're getting it? But it remains the same. Right?
The mind.
But in the Bardo, I was not Itzik.
Okay, so for this, what we have to understand is the I, or let's say you. You in the context of this life, and you in the context of across 3 times. You in the context of this life is known as Isaac. You in the context of the what spreads across 3 times, this is what you would call as I. Right? I in my past life must have done something good so that I'm human in this life. And I in this life should do something good so that in my future life I will not suffer. Right? So that is the I which spreads across 3 times. To know this concept so well, we have to know what is known as the concept of entities and isolates.
And?
Entities.
And?
Entities and isolates.
What is isolate?
Okay.
Didim, okay.
Right? So this concept we will study very likely tomorrow. Entities and isolates we'll study tomorrow, right? Without understanding this concept is very complicated. Actually, it's not complicated, it's very easy. If you understand the isolates and the entities, this concept is very easy and many questions will be resolved simply by understanding this concept, entities and isolates. Yes, Leora?
So I was saying that I can understand if you take, for example, His Holiness the Dalai Lama 13 and 14. I can say that we say that there is a continuum of the mind. I was saying that the I, body and mind, the self, can we see it as a continuum? Because the imputation is not, there's no continuum, neither in the imputation. I cannot see the continuum of the body and mind, of the...
So 13 Dalai Lama and 14 Dalai Lama?
Yes, I can see that we are talking about impermanence. There is a continuum.
Yes.
So I can see the continuum in the mind. Now we're saying the I, which is the body and mind of the person, the 13 and the 14 Dalai Lama, and it exists by imputation. Can I see the continuum? Can we say that there is a continuum?
Yes. No, continuum of the self.
Of the self, which
Not we don't speak of the continuum of the body.
only the self.
Continuum of the self and the continuum of the mind.
Yeah, they are connected.
Right? Body-wise, the body, for example, say, when you take birth in the formless realm, you don't have a physical body. But you are there in the formless realm.
And there is a self.
There's a self there.
Okay.
There's a self there.
How to accept it?
Wow.
Because if you say there is self in the upper limb, so how do you define self? You said self depends, it's a combination of...
Okay, tell me.
Or do you mean
Okay,
the
tell me.
sense?
Tell me.
The mind...
Tell me, who is that who is asking me this question? What is the self? Who is that person who's asking me this question? I, right? I wish I. Your body or your mind?
You can't find
Both.
the truth, somebody beyond the
Mind,
You
Ah.
can't find the boss of them, unfortunately.
mind.
Right, okay. So therefore, the study of conventional truth and the ultimate truth, this is required. Right? Okay. So anyway, this is the responsibility of Isaac. Isaac's responsibility to ask this question, right?
It's the answer, but I don't really...
So you can ask him.
No, what I'm saying is that for this to be understood, we need to understand 2 things. One is entities and concept of the entities and isolated one. Number 2 is the true truths. The true truths. So precious. Without understanding these 2 things, these questions, whether in Western philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, Hindu philosophy, science, everywhere the question remains. Right? If you understand the concept of the entities and isolates and the concept of
Truth.
true truth, not just truth, true truths, then all these problems will be resolved very easily. So it is easy class responsibility to ask the question, right? Till tomorrow. Oh, you got. Now we have 3 minutes to complete the 4 seals. Right? Okay. The gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. Gross impermanence, for example, say the 2017. Continuum of 2017 is finished. You agree with me?
Yes.
Continuum of 2017 stopped. Time stopped? Not stopped. Time.
No.
Time did not stop. Time continued. Even today it continues. But 2017, which is a part of time, stopped. Continuum of 2017 stopped. This is known as continuum of composite phenomena which stops, is known as gross impermanence. So our death is a gross impermanence. So therefore, it's very important for us to meditate on the gross impermanence as well. You're getting it? 1. Subtle impermanence. Subtle impermanence is the momentariness. Momentariness and the instantaneity. Instantaneity, the momentariness of all the composite phenomena is known as subtle impermanence. Right? Okay. So, after reflecting on the gross impermanence, that I will also die, the world will come to an end. Right? So like this, the gross impermanence, we think about this, and then we think about the subtle impermanence. If it seeing the reflection on the gross impermanence, we will have a sense of urgency. And reflecting on the subtle impermanence, sense of urgency will increase even more. Reflecting on the subtle impermanence, sense of urgency will increase even more. Right? Okay.
Why?
Okay, so let's say,
If I stay, if the self is not ending,
yes,
time is ending. Time is a
gross impermanence. Yes.
But the self is a subtle phenomenon.
It'll continue.
It will continue. So if not now, later. So where is the sense of urgency? If
Okay.
not now, into
Next life.
explanation. Yeah.
Next life is continuous. Good.
Maybe I'm not going to be human being with such a condition.
This is the answer.
But
Right.
what you do
So,
now?
Tamila is, Tamila is, no, Tamila is okay, human being, right? Having a nice place, nice DFI, Dhamma Friends of Israel, right? You're serving, and good, and Dhamma practice. Next life, not sure, right? Not sure. So therefore, it's very scary. So this Tamila, because it follows gross impermanence, if this Tamila remains like this, in the next life, it discontinues, it never stops. As this life's Tamila, continue like that is fine. But this will come and this follows the gross impermanence, it'll stop, and then what next, we're not sure. Right? So therefore, the reflection of gross impermanence which will help us give a sense of urgency, and reflection on the subtle impermanence will give us a greater sense of the urgency. Right? Okay. What is subtle impermanence? What is subtle impermanence? We said the momentariness, instantaneity of things. Momentariness. Right? Okay. So let's say that we plant a Bodhi tree. We plant a Bodhi tree here in the kibbutz area, Kibbutz Bodhicitta. Everyone.
Kibbutz Bodhicitta.
Kibbutz Bodhicitta, right? Or you plant the Bodhi tree as a souvenir of our, as a the memory of our Bodhicitta retreat series 16. We plant, and then after 10 years we all come together. How come that there was no the Bodhi tree in front of the Gomba, in front of this the hall? But there's a huge tree now, 10 feet tall tree now. Right? How come? Okay, this tree which was non-existent before suddenly came into being, and then one day it will die, which means it follows the gross impermanence. But within the gross impermanence there's a subtle impermanence. How? This growth of this big tree, 10 feet tall tree, took place in 10 years time, which means every year it was growing. Every year it was growing. 10 years, 10 feet tall, which means every year it's growing 1 foot, right? It's not that for the 9 years it remained as a seed, and then, tomorrow completes the 10 year, I should grow 10 foot. No, this is not like that. Every year it was growing 1 foot, every year. Okay, first year 1 foot tall, first year, 2018, 1 foot tall, right? It's not that for 11 months it remained, seed, and then, tomorrow comes 1 year, 1 foot. No, every month it was growing 1 inch, every month. And the growth that you see in 1 inch growth that you see in 1 month is because of the growth that you see in 1 day, 30 days, 1 day. The growth that you see in 1 day is because of the growth that you see in the 1 hour, the 24 hours, 60 minutes, 60 seconds, 1000 milliseconds, right? So when you say the growth taking place in the one hour, do you see that growth? For example, say, like clock, manual clock, analog, we call this analog, like this, their clock, wall clock there. So do you see this, the hour hand moving?
Yes.
You don't see it. If you keep looking at it.
Oh, no,
Now, after some time you will see this, but when you look at it, you don't see it moving.
Yeah.
What about the minute hand? Do you see it moving?
No.
You keep looking at it, do you see it moving? You will not see this.
No.
If you see this, it's amazing. Second hand is moving, right? Second you see it is moving. Okay, if you see the minute hand is moving, I think that's a damage to your brain. Or you are a superhuman being. Right? So for the second hand you see it moving. Tick, 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 tick. Okay. Now tell me, this is the movement that you see in when the changes happen on the second, on the level of the seconds. What is the change that happens on the level of the 100th of a second?
We don't see.
We see that. We see it on a timer, on a mobile. We press the timer, we press the stopwatch, you will see. You see this? This is known as the momentariness, subtle impermanence. In actuality, this tree, which seems to be so tall, static, 10 feet tall, actually it is not static, it is moving. It is moving the way the millisecond is moving. This is how this tree is growing. This is how our body is aging. This is how our mind is moving. This is how this hall is also changing. Right? If you think like this, and this change that is happening so fast. This change that you see, like this movement, like the millisecond, within 1 second, how many times it moves? 1,000 times. So this movement is so fast. Since this 1,000 change happening within 1 second, this change is not happening in one time. It is happening in 1,000 different times, right? Which means that what you're actually seeing is just lasting less than 1 millisecond. Less than 1 millisecond means that this whole is also changing, and your body is also changing. The people around you, they're also moving. If you really see them moving at that pace, it's very scary. It's very scary, right? Okay, so it will be good. It will be good sometimes sometimes if we can say like sit for, if you have holiday, like say 5-day holiday, or say like 1 week holiday and so forth, or say the annual holiday that you take, vacation that you take, you can spend that duration for your meditation exclusively on impermanence. Impermanence. Gross, first gross and the subtle. First, but meditate both, but with the focus on the gross initially. Maybe the first 2 days on the gross, emphasis on gross, but on the impermanence, the subtle one as well. And then slowly move to the subtle one. Slowly, both with emphasis on the subtle one. Right? If you do that, then what I would suggest, if possible, go to some very secluded place. Don't do the meditation in your own house. If the provision is there, possibly provision for such provision is there, then you can go for such place. For example, some remote place. If you go to India, like Spiti. How many of you been to Spiti? 1, 2. No. No. Okay, like Spiti or Lahore, not Lahore, Lahul, in Spiti, close by. If you go to these places, then the meditation impermanence can be very effective, right? But at your home, meditation on what I would say is meditation on the emptiness would be more effective. Meditation impermanence, you can go to these places. Then you very likely, most likelihood, you will get a very good experience of what emptiness is like. Okay, so I personally, when I was I think age 20 or 21, I spent 2 months just meditating primarily with a focus on impermanence, and it's a very scary experience. Very scary experience. Literally, you see as though the whole wall is moving like this, so fast. Your body, everything's moving so fast. It's very scary. And if somebody throws a party, for me, even the food would be moving so fast. Right? No party.
You can actually feel it.
This is what I'm saying. So therefore, we have to meditate. So I did it when I was when I was 21 or 20, 21 years old. I did it. I practiced for like 2 months, and literally, it's extremely scary. Literally, extremely scary, and the feeling of urgency is tremendous. Right? Okay. So this what I'm saying is that for this even say meditating for say like 1 week, you may not get to that extent of experience. We never know. Right? We never know from your past life. You might have meditated in the past life, and this life you do it, and the seed can activate. We never know, right? So in some cases, one day meditation can trigger this experience. We never know. It's not that because that you have learned all these things, and then we do not get the opportunity to learn these things. No, we never know. You just do the meditation and then see what the effect is like. Even if you don't feel anything, don't worry. You've already left implants. They implanted the seeds, right? Okay, so this is how we should be doing it. All composite things impermanent, right? Okay, yes, Leon? Okay, yes. Tiyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhisvaha Tiyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhisvaha Tiyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Bodhi.